Well, hello and welcome to Viking Park in Erindale. Again, the first weekend of the finals of the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup 2018 season. It's Brett McKay with you for Bar TV Sports. We're back at Erindale with Uni North taking on Gungahlin in the Hans Superdry Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup minor semi-final. Joining me in commentary once again today, backing up from yesterday, is Ryan Murphy from Brumbies Rugby. And I emphasise that, Ryan, because you need to leave your Gungahlin Eagles affiliations at the door, please.
I'm going to try my best. I've plenty of mates on the Uni North South, so whatever the result today, I'll be able to deal with it. But yeah, great game of rugby scheduled for today, the fourth meeting between these two sides today. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a cracking contest yesterday with Royals getting over Tuggeranong in the major semi-final. They'll go through to the grand final on August 18. Tuggeranong, of course, well, they're looking for the winner of this game today to meet next weekend's preliminary final. We will get to some late team news in just a minute because there's a few changes on both sides. Last week, of course, these two teams met, Ryan. It was Gungahlin had everything to play for. A big win, 47 points to 5 up at Nichols, and that was enough for them to clinch fourth spot and be here today.
Yeah, it was a clinical job from the Eagles last week. They got through their work really easily, really, and they surprisingly easy. It was systematic, and they just did their job really well. Yeah. I think it was an off day for Uni. I think they'll be able to scrap that off and just focus on today. And for the Eagles, that'll give them confidence, having lost the two previous meetings.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it wasn't without a bit of drama during the week. There was a little bit of a discussion, investigation as to whether there might have been a technical breach of the replacement laws, and it was particularly relating to Josh Gillard and Simon Anow coming off the bench last weekend as fresh replacements, which I've got to admit I didn't realise that the ruling or the wording of the law was there, that basically you couldn't have a fresh replacement unless it was a Brumbies home game weekend. So it's there for that. It was found that, realistically the game was pretty well in hand by the time they both went on, and I think a bit of common sense prevailed.
Yeah, I think it's letter of the law versus spirit of the law. Yeah. Basically, there may have been there absolutely was a rule infringement, but everyone at Brumbies decided that the best course of action was to let the winners go through, and I think that's the right thing. In the spirit of the game, Gungahlin, maybe the rules, whatever, but they've earned their spot here, and that late finish from them was spectacular. So to reward them is right to play this match out here today. And
I think talking to a few people from Brumbies Rugby this week, it might actually force a little bit of a tinker with the replacement rules next year. And if it does, I don't think that's necessarily a bad outcome.
For sure. I think to clarify that issue, just to with so many rules for one thing, 2 fresh reserves or 3, whatever the rule becomes, I think that's probably not a bad thing.
Yeah,
no, not
I agree. As you mentioned, it's the side's fourth meeting of 2018. Round 5 saw Uni North getting up 22-10 at ANU North. Round 9, Uni North got up 25-24 at ANU North, and that was, of course, the red card game,
of course,
which we won't go on about at all. And then last weekend, round 17, Gungahlin 47 over Uni North's 5 up at Nichols. Some earlier results from today. I can tell you in second grade, Royals have won through to the preliminary final with a big win over Uni North's 47-5. In Colts, it's Gungahlin Eagles who got up 39-12 over Uni North's. In Div 1 first grade, Royals 38 have beaten the Goulburn Dirty Reds 23, and in Div 1 second grade, Queanbeyan 62 have beaten ADFA 14. So congrats to all 4 winners today. They'll be in action again next weekend, and shapes to be a big weekend in preliminary final action next weekend.
I'm just looking at that. That's a massive win for Royals in second grade, 47-5. They've been an up and down side, but when they're on, they're really tough to play against. They've got tremendous depth at Royals, and so they'll play through. And Gungahlin getting up in second in Colts. Sorry, they've got a lot of talent. They'll probably feel that they've underperformed this year, but
some impressive young names.
Absolutely,
they've got Colts side
guys like Tom Ross, Sapani Sudriti.
Yeah.
These guys are Oscar Cunningham. They're all guys that are earning a lot of plaudits in Canberra Rugby, and they'll actually feature off the bench most likely for the first grade side today as well.
They will indeed. Let's get to both sides because there have been a few little changes and a few little tweaks for both teams. For Uni North, I can tell you that Ben Alexander will be the starting loose head prop. Max Bode comes back into tight head, having played lock last week. Isaleli Farr goes to hooker for Uni North. Phil Ferreira and John Bosco Tongaloa in the second row. Den Parate and James Lynch are the flankers. Ben Love, the number 8. Now, we haven't mentioned Dave Bennett here, and he was a casualty at Uni North's training on Tuesday night. Went down in a contact session, and it looks like he's done a pretty serious knee injury, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw Bennett yesterday carrying. I think he was in a knee brace.
I've seen him in a knee brace today already. Yeah,
really tough for him. He's been one of the standout players in the competition all year, and was really good actually last week. In that play-in game for Gungahlin. He was one of the threats to the Eagles all day, so
he was probably the difference between it being a 47-point scoreline and maybe not a lot bigger.
It's a massive change there for Uni.
The rest of that Uni North side, Lachlan Crichton, Tom Gilmore, the halves, Sam Irwin and Sterling Doyle on the wings, Trent Storin and Panache Kamara in the centres, and Jordan Thompson at fullback. For Gungahlin, it's Ray Dobson and Nick Dobson and Alex Small complete the front row. Jake Helgeson and Mark Bartholow the locks. BJ Edwards, Sam O'Leary and Rocky Ilulahia, the back rower. Mitch Ward and Josh Gillard comes into fly half. No Wharanui Hara today, which will be a bit of a loss, but Josh Gillard's played plenty of first grade this year as well.
Yeah, Futz is sanding it up in Bali, I believe, right now. But Josh Gillard will give Eagles about 80% of what Futz gave him. He's a really good player, and he was actually involved in the Shoot Shield Grand Final last year, so he's played a lot of top class rugby. This stage won't phase him, and Eagles have a really good replacement in Josh Gillard.
Eli Sonotti, Jamie Kotz on the wing, Mitch Conley in the inside centre. Matt Hawke has been a late scratching.
Yeah,
only in the last half an hour ago. It seems like he might have pulled up a bit sore in the warm up.
Literally, I think 2 minutes before the Eagles were about to go into the sheds, I think Hawke's gone down with a hamstring injury, and that's a killer blow for the Eagles. Yeah. He's the inspiration behind this side. He gives them
both
everything.
Sides effectively without their captains.
Pretty much. Yeah, and I mean, captain in name, but captain in endeavour, and the way they drive their side on. So
Luke Duffy comes into outside centre for the Eagles, and Mac Hansen, who was last week's Player of the Week. He was Team of the Week fullback, but he was the Player of the Week across the grades last week. Had an absolutely wonderful game for the Eagles. We will come to both benches as well through the game. We have got them today, and we can see. Both clubs, some healthy support for both teams today. It's a sunny afternoon down here in the south of Canberra. Healthy support for both teams on the southern hills, which is great, and we've got some lengthy tunnels for both teams to run out to.
Interesting to contrast yesterday's support and Royals and Vikings have been at this stage plenty of times. They know what it's like to be here. Not exactly a Cinderella story by any means for those two to be in the major semi, but for the Eagles and for the Owls in particular, this is a really big day in their club, and they've been out of the finals. I believe it's Uni have been out of the finals for many years
as a club. This is their first as the joint venture. It's their first appearance, of course. So it's been a long time between drinks for the university sides. A strong Royals contingent here today too. Was speaking with Joel Penders on barbecue duty a little earlier. He admitted that he pulled up a bit sore after yesterday. It was a pretty tough encounter.
He got through so much. He got through so much work yesterday as well, Joel. He had a great game, and he was they'll get 2 weeks off. I think they can enjoy themselves now and just relax, sit back, and maybe catch something. If Gungahlin make a run, if Owls make a run, they can maybe catch something in their game. But I think there'll be a few red and black jerseys, a few Vikings staff, few players, few coaches just keeping an eye today, I think.
Yeah, they'll be here, no doubt. I can't actually repeat what Joel said to me directly, but the message was basically that he hoped everyone had really, really tough games for the next 2 weeks.
I think whether it's Owls or the Eagles, they won't have minded that yesterday was a really gritty encounter either.
No, certainly not. So we're just waiting both sides to take the field here at Viking Park. It's looking in magnificent condition, considering it's had 5 games in the last 24 hours. It's in really, really good nick, which is good to see. It's not quite as cool yesterday as it was this time today. I beg your pardon, as it was this time yesterday. Although we've learnt the lessons from yesterday, we know what to expect at half time.
Yeah, that temperature surely will drop, but I think this will probably benefit the Owls. They've got a lot of pace in the outside backs, particularly Panache Kamara. But that Eagles side, they'll look to keep it tight early. I think they have a really strong pack, and with Gillard, he likes to play corners, so expect them to play quite a simple game early doors. As we see, Owls are taking to the park.
Yes, here they come, the Uni North side. led out by Tom Gilmore, the fly half.
He's got a really important job today.
Yeah,
Tom Gilmore has to lead his side around. His kicking game is so important for Uni North.
There's Benny Alexander, the Brumbies prop, who I bumped into a little earlier, and he said, "Yep, he's here for the big games." And but it's great that he's really enthusiastic, really looking forward to the contest, and having a bit of fun too. He said
he's played a semi-final or two in his time. Benny Alexander. It's not exactly Loftus Versfeld here today, but he'll enjoy the hell out of it, and
he will.
As I say, he's signed on for another year with Brumbies as well. So,
which is great news.
The ticker's still going for Benny A.
Great news. Benny Alexander there in the Uni North number 1 jersey. Max Bode started at lock last week and did a pretty serviceable job, but he's back up front today, and he'll be looking at home there. You can see the Gungahlin chant and their lengthy tunnel there from the southeastern corner here at Viking Park. You can hear the chants as they're let out, and it looks like it's Ray Dobson. I knew I'd get that wrong as soon as I committed to one of them. Ray Dobson leads out.
Yeah, Ray and Matt Hawke, co-captains of the first grade side. So Ray leading his side out. He's been really, really good recently, Ray. One of the best loose heads in the comp, and
yeah, no doubt about that.
Him and Max Bode, that contest is going to be really interesting today. As we saw, Ray probably got the better of John Bosco Tagaloa last week. Max come in, he's a really good tight head on his day, so interesting battle there for sure.
Absolutely. Matthew Hogan is our referee, and he's out there in the middle ready to get us underway here at Viking Park. The Hahn Super Dry minor semi-final. The winner will take on Tuggeranong next weekend, the preliminary final. And for the loser, of course, it means the 2018 season comes to an end. Plenty to play for both clubs. Both of them very much deserving to carry on.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, there can only be one. And Matt Hogan gets us underway. Josh Gillard's kick-off is held up into the wind, significantly stronger than the wind was holding kicks up yesterday. But the Eagles, they've got the ball from the kick-off, which is a great start. This is Eli Sinotti with the first of what will undoubtedly be many ball carries today for the left winger. There's BJ Edwards, who was a fantastic last week in the Eagles' big win over Uni North. It's a good carry up through the middle there. Mark Berthelot, again, was impressive last week for the Eagles. Mitch Ward looking for runners again. And there's Jake Helgeson with a little short ball off Eli Sinotti. Ward going wide. Finds Gillard. And this is Ray Dobson. Some impressive contact already from Uni North. Gillard's going wide. He finds Mitch Conley. Working their way into this. This is Nick Dobson. Uni North's defensive line set well already. They've not got past the 10-metre line at this stage. Gungahlin Eagles going backwards, in fact, at this point. They've lost about 15 metres from the last phase. That's Luke Duffy, the late change into outside centre for Matt Hawke, who sounds like he's pulled a hammy in the warm-up. Back to the clearing kick for Gillard. He keeps it low under this wind. Ball holds up. It's been picked up over there on the far side. Is it Luke Duffy who might have got through on this? And there's a little knock on. A frantic start, Ryan.
Yeah. I was expecting definitely this energy from both of these sides. There's no love lost for sure. And Eagles just controlling possession early. I like the option from Josh Gillard looking to play corners, as we were saying before, but that wind is definitely going to be a factor in this first half. It's certainly favouring Uni North, and they've got a strong kicking game. I expect to see Tom Gilmore probably off first phase looking to play corners. Yeah. He and
Jordan Thompson certainly will have a big role to play in this. But yeah, that wind is, I think, stronger than we thought initially. Just judging by the way that
it might have
that
just
kickoff was held up.
Might have just picked up pre-kickoff because I was down on ground early and it didn't seem.
No, it really didn't. And even looking around, the trees around us here at Viking Park don't seem to be swirling around as much as they were yesterday. But clearly,
might be high up actually.
A bit of wind over the top of the grandstand here. So this Uni North scrum holding up well. And here is Gilmore for the Owls. Gets a good kick downfield and it's going to find open space and it'll find touch 10 metres out. And there's the Gilmore influence already.
Yeah, I thought he might go off first phase there, just catching the Eagles, napping a bit. Jamie Cotts getting caught a little bit short there.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he'll peg that now, Jamie, that he's got to adjust his position slightly with the wind. But yeah, I love the option from Tom Gilmore just to put the pressure right on the Eagles here. If the Owls can get a good start with their defensive structure and the way they just keep going, they've never ever give up. It'll be a really tough task for Gungahlin to come back. So I love the intent from Owls playing smart early.
With the first line out of the day, taken well at the top there by BJ Edwards, blindside flanker. Ball's gone backwards is Matt Hogan's call. Gillard back for the clearing kick. You can see that ball being held up as it crosses the plane of touch, and well, he's found 10 metres there, Josh Gillard, and so clearly there's going to be some lessons to be learned about kicking for the Eagles in this first half.
Well, as I say, we haven't seen a lot of Josh Gillard in this competition. He came down midway through the season and he had a shoulder injury after a couple really outstanding performances early, but he's a really quality player, and he'll adjust, and he'll know that he's probably got to be a bit smarter about when and where he kicks and how he kicks.
So it looks like James Lynch is actually still throwing in for the Union North. This is Ben Alexander brought down in centre field. He's lost that forward, and Matt Hogan sees it. It's been celebrated by the Gungahlin Eagles assistant coaches up here.
Yeah, we might get a bit of that today.
We might get a bit of that today. We've had a little bit of it already today, haven't we?
Yeah, Ben McGee and Rory Murphy sitting up in the box here beside us.
Hi, Ryan.
It's a good early defensive stand there from Eagles.
Yeah,
fronting on pretty well. Mark Berthelot, another guy that came into the squad about 3 games into the season, played a bit of third grade, played a bit of second grade, and I know he played a
spot since then.
Well, yeah, he played a bit of first grade, I think, a couple of years ago, but everyone thought, oh, Mark might just be back for a runner, and he was just so good and hasn't given up his spot since, and he gives us a lot of gives Gungahlin, I should say, a lot of beef there in the second row.
Nice correcting. I like that. It was Ilulahia who went 8-9 off the back of this impressive Gungahlin Eagles scrum, looking to get the way out of their own 22. BJ Edwards, he's beaten a couple of tackles there to peel off another 10 metres. He's brought down 15 in from touch. This is Mitch Conley. This is Mitch Conley, I beg your pardon. He's got a little bit of support outside him. He finds Jake Helgeson. He gets through the tackle. He held onto the ball, which was probably a good decision in the end. Mac Hansen, it is there in the blue headgear, and he'll have a prominent role to play today too, with no Faranui Hawara, who was he's majestic last week.
He was so good last week.
Really, really good game. This is Gillard, and there's a little intercept chance there from Trent Storr, and it's lost it forward. This is Berthelot, who's brought down just short of halfway. Still with scrum advantage here, you would think, the Eagles. Edwards can't get past the gain line there. This is Hansen again at first receiver, and he finds Eli Sinotti, who finds Jamie Cotts over there on the far side. Jamie Cotts is in a bit of space, and Jamie Cotts is going to score the first try of the minor semi-final.
Oh, he can finish, Jamie Cotts. What a finish. Oh my God, what a finish from Jamie Cotts. He had no right to score from there. Just used his feet in close contact and the burners to finish. What a score. What an opening score for the Gungahlin Eagles.
Great try. Mac Hansen goes short side, and there really wasn't a lot on, but Eli Sinotti finds a bit of space, and well, I still don't quite know how he got that pass to Jamie Cotts.
No, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I love Eli Sinotti coming off his left wing, just looking for work, and then Mac Hansen with a little bit of variation just to hold off the ball. But as we've seen a couple of times, Gungahlin playing with lots of width and getting the results for it. Trent Storr, his read there, just knocked the ball on, but he was gone.
Yeah.
It was a really good read with the ball holding up in the wind. Gungahlin need to probably peg that. The long passes aren't on, but the slight adjustment, and that's it in the corner.
Could very well be a 14-point turnaround.
Absolutely.
He was gone, wasn't he, Trent Storr?
I love that finish from Jamie Cotts, though.
Oh,
that's majestic.
Absolutely.
Just close feet contact, and then the burners. And Lachlan Crichton was over, but just couldn't get him.
He's not long back from a little lengthy injury spell as well, Jamie Cotts. But he's what's that? 5 tries in a month.
5 and 3. Sorry, yeah.
He's certainly hit the ground running. So Gillard in the shadow of the light tower over there, just outside the 22. He's about 7 or 8 metres in from touch. Keeps the ball lowish in the wind, but it just goes across the face of goal. So 5-0 in favour of the Eagles. Score remains. We've had just over 8 minutes of play down here at Viking Park in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final.
If you're the Owls now, you're thinking that's just a piece of individual brilliance, nothing to stress too much about. They'll probably worry more about Mitch Connolly's break a couple of phases earlier. He ghosted through. I think he caught Max Bode just on a bit of an island by himself. That's a great kickoff.
Yeah, really good kickoff. Well, they don't try and contest it though. Uni North happy just to try and pin the Eagles down in their own half. Here's Helgeson, gets another little offload away. It's been lost forward though.
Yeah, just overplaying there, but again, Helgeson was almost through that same hole as well.
Yeah.
I like early, Mitch Connolly is taking on a lot of responsibility in attack here. As we said before, Matt Hawk's come out of the side and Mitch has just stepped up. He's taking in at first receiver, giving Gillard time to span and make decisions, and he's just stepping up. He's an experienced campaigner. I love to see that early.
Can see over in the southeastern corner of Viking Park a strong Uni North contingent, and to the southern end there's just as many. Well, there's more. Certainly Gungahlin Eagles supporters there under their marquee as well, which is great to see. Supporters of both clubs here in the sunshine in the south of Canberra.
Interested to see where they go here. Got Trenstone lined out on the left, but Sam Irwin holding really tight on this right wing.
Crichton feeds. He's looking open side and goes across Storen. Panache Kamara has to clean up. He gets a pass over there to Sterling Doyle, who's wearing 14 but playing on the left wing. Crichton comes back and finds Phil Ferreira playing at lock again as he did earlier in the season.
What a turnover.
Yeah, good, really important turnover too for Gungahlin. Just as Uni North were looking to build up a little bit of pressure, and we've come back for the penalty now.
It was Rocky Ilalahia over the ball, as he always is. Uni North's playing really narrow there through Phil Ferreira. I like the intent to get over the advantage line, but playing too tight. This is a really strong Gungahlin pack, and they're big through that area. They've got to play with a little bit more width, because guys like Rocky Ilalahia, Mark Berthelot, they'll tackle all day.
So Gillard's touch finder again. It's good for 10 or 15 metres. Certainly having to work hard
that touch
out of their own half.
That touchy's flag is blowing hard, Brett. It's a really, really strong wind out there now.
That's going to be a difficult touch line to find today, the one on the eastern side here of Viking Park. Alex Small throws in. BJ Edwards again at the front. This is Rocky Ilalahia. He's done me again with the numberless jersey. He got me last week a couple of times. Did Rocky, but I've got him pegged now. That was Nick Dobson who gets the Eagles out of their own half. Ward's just looking for screening options for Josh Gillard's kick, and Gillard gets his kick away. Doesn't quite bounce into touch. Jordan Thompson is back there. Doesn't kick, elects to run. He's brought down on halfway. Crichton comes open side and then decides to go down the short side. Gets a little kick away off his left. Gillard's there to clean up. Gets a low kick from inside his 22. Thompson has this. Floats away to Gilmore. He makes his way to halfway. A little chip over the top here. Gilmore, can he get it? He can. Gilmore in a little bit of space. Finds Phil Ferreira. He finds Panache Kamara, does he? No, he doesn't. Ball goes into touch.
Oh, well... Gungahlin
it's a lost opportunity, we've got to say, Ryan.
For sure. I think Gungahlin will be counting themselves very lucky. Lazy kick return defence from Gungahlin. There was acres of space for Gilmore. He found the perfect kick, and he found Ferreira too. And
he found Phil Ferreira in plenty of space too.
We know he can play a lot of footy. Does Phil Ferreira, the lock come centre?
I don't know if he's a lock come centre or centre come lock. I can't keep up with them.
Is there another one in world rugby that can play centre one week and lock? Back row, sure. Lock. Unbelievable. But yeah, as I say, it was probably the right option. I like the fact that he backed himself to make the pass, but just couldn't find Panache Kamara, and that's a let off for the Eagles. Certainly was. Would have been a excellent response from Uni North. So Ward feeds here for the Eagles. He's got Sonotti short if he wants him. This is Conley.
Here's that man, Rocky Ilolahia. Back to Gillard for the clearing kick. He's decided to go against the wind, and that does make it out.
Yeah, that's much better from Josh Gillard. He's got to find the stands with these kicks. I think in this first half, we've seen already that Uni know how to counter attack, and with Thompson and Gilmore, they've got guys that can peg the ball down into even the 5-metre channel. It's got to go out, and then they can trust their defence.
So James Lynch throws in. The Eagles get across. Sam O'Leary was getting across the line out for the Eagles. Uni Norths have this sorted. The pass goes across Gilmore. Trent Storen has to go back and clean up. Jordan Thompson gets a low raking kick into touch over on the far side. That's a really nice kick, that is. Again,
that's just the asset of having those two guys on the park, a left footer, a right footer. When in trouble, he can find space, and that's a really, really good kick. Eagles putting lots of pressure on James Lynch there at line-out time. Had plenty of joy last week, I think, particularly through BJ Edwards and Sam O'Leary.
Yeah, I lost count of how many line-outs BJ Edwards won last week.
He's had a strong start here too. Such a good player, BJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's jumping at number 2 here. It's a short line-out. He gets up again, wins it well, uncontested this time. Gillard finds Ilolahia in centre field, about 25 out from his own line. Ward comes open side. Gilmore changes the point of attack. And there is BJ Edwards, who was looking for an offload. He gets one away to Mitch Ward. He's still going in the scrum half. Finds Gillard out the back. And there's a good carry up the middle there. That is Sam O'Leary, the open sider. Ilolahia with another strong carry. Finds a good 5 or 6 metres. There's Bertholo. Gillard has this. Looks to try and peg Uni North back down near their own 22. Ball doesn't go into touch. Thompson has this and plenty of space and time. Good pressure on him. Doesn't find anywhere near as much ground as he has been in recent kicks.
Tough angle there for Thompson, but perfect from an Eagles perspective.
The pressure on the kick was really good there.
Yeah, it was great kick case from Jamie Cotts. Yeah,
certainly what made the difference there in that touch finder of Jordan Thompson.
Gungahlin having a crack in those areas, but then once they can sense that it's not on, down into Uni North's half.
Going to a 5-man line out again. Ilolahia stationed out here in the centres. Gillard finds Mitch Conley, who's good for a few metres after contact inside centre. Gillard goes wide, finds BJ Edwards, who again bumps off first tackler, as he does more often than not. Gillard comes back toward the grandstand. This is Conley, who's jinking, trying to work his way through this Uni North defence. It's holding well so far. Gillard again looking for runners, just trying to go through a little bit of a gap there that quickly closed on him. Ward has a look both ways. Goes to the Vikings club side here. Comes back short side this time. Hanson's in at first receiver. He's taken well there by James Lynch.
Eagles just need to find some shape here, a bit frantic.
Yeah, they do. That pass, it goes to ground before Alex Small picks it up on the bounce. Still in centre field. They're about 35 out here. The Eagles. Ben Love, he's shortened up Josh Gillard there in a hurry. But Jamie Cotts has this and has it in a bit of space. It's brought down just short of the 22. Can they get quick ball here, the Eagles? Conley finds Mac Hansen in a little bit of space. This is Jake Helgeson, who's been good in the carrying department already today. They're about 7 metres out, not even 5 in from touch. Ilolahia gets them a bit closer again. Panashi Kamara does his best to rip that out for the Owls.
They just need to settle here. They've got the right location. They just need to secure and execute now.
Smalls brought to ground about 8 short. Ward keeps going to that open side. Gillard finds Bertholo. Does get an offload back to Gillard on the wraparound. Can he connect with Jamie Cotts over on the far side? He can. What can Jamie Cotts do with not much space? Well, he puts a foot into touch. That's what he does.
Just too frantic from the Eagles there. They're right in the right position and they're just trying to go wide too quick.
Right idea, but they're giving the Uni North defence too much opportunity just to slide with them, aren't they?
I think with that amount of space, right in 10 metres out, if you go too wide too early, you're not playing with enough park. You've got to hammer the point of contact. We talked about it yesterday with Vikings actually.
Not coming around the corner enough, that's right. You mentioned that. So Uni North will be looking for the exit out of their own 22 now. They're going to a 5-man line out. Ben Love got at the back, but this is Rocky Ilalahia. He's brought down only 5 short for the Eagles. Ward finds BJ Edwards, and he's a few metres short as well.
Advantage coming for the Eagles. It's a free shot here.
Edging closer here. I think that's Sam O'Leary who's fighting his way. He's maybe only a metre or 2 short. This is Josh Gillard now coming wide to Conley. Finds Mac Hansen, who's well carried, well tackled there by Sam Irwin. It was Hansen. They've lost a few. They've lost 10 or 15 metres here. The Eagles. They just need a bit of patience and build this back up. This is BJ Edwards. So they reset from about 20 out now. Ward keeps going to that eastern side through Nick Dobson. Ball's gone backwards, and we go back to that original penalty. But Union North's just a bit offside.
Same again from Eagles, just again too wide, too early. Perhaps, 20 minutes into this minor semi-final, thinking this could be a killer blow. 2 scores up with playing against the wind, thinking, we're in here. This is on, They just need to build and trust what they do. From an Owls perspective, if they can hold out here, they'll fill them with lots of confidence. With that wind, of course, they can get up the other end of the field straight away.
Yeah, looking to build scoreboard pressure is a good solid idea, but the scoreboard unfortunately only recalls actual points scored, not potential points, doesn't it?
How about BJ Edwards again up at that line out? Just with the fingertips, great read, but the athleticism to get it to it. It's really it's outstanding. Big
opportunity now for Gungahlin. Attacking line out, about 10 metres out from the Uni North line. Edwards again up at number 4. Ilalahia peels off the back and comes into centre field. He's brought down about 10 short. Was Nick Dobson with the carry. Just looking for a pick and drive here now, the Eagles. Helgeson, well, that's his shortest run of the day already. He's been great for them. BJ Edwards picks up and goes. He's brought down 2 metres short. They keep coming to this western side, the Eagles. Ray Dobson, he has a crack at the line. He's not too short. It's a try to Ray Dobson. Well, I thought he'd gone down a metre or 2 short. But just good reward for hard work.
Well, it was much better that time from the Eagles, doing what they need to do, just keeping the ball in tight and going straight and direct with this really strong pack that we've seen already. Helgeson, Edwards, Rocky Ilalahia, guys that are willing to carry, and they're getting over that advantage line. And you say Ray Dobson, he's been so good recently, Ray. He's
been in good form, hasn't he?
He's been in really good form, and when he's at his best, he's a pro standard, Lou said, when he's at his best, and that's a great finish. Just pumped his legs in contact, didn't give up, and he just snuck over the line.
I honestly thought he'd been brought to ground a metre or 2 short, but just that secondary pump of the legs.
Got a pump from himself, and his Eagles mates backed him up behind him, and with a very kickable conversion, 12-0, Eagles will be very happy with this start.
Yeah, important conversion here for Josh Gillard. He's taken it about 18 metres back. He's maybe 5 metres to the left of the posts as he looks at this kick. Hits it pretty well. Hits it straight between the posts. 12-0 Gungahlin lead. Uni North in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. Now, thanks to our competition partners for 2018, Griffin Legal, who have been the John Dent Cup naming rights sponsors all year. Hahn Superdry, of course, have built you the match of the round each and every week, and will do for the rest of the season. Vodafone are our man of the match sponsors, and we'll try and get onto that a little earlier than we did yesterday, Ryan. And we thank McDonald's, ACT, Heartsport, O'Neill, and OVO as well. You're watching the Hahn Superdry Griffin Legal John Dent Cup minor semi-final on Brumbies Rugby with Brett McKay and Ryan Murphy with you in commentary. Josh Gillard looks to get his clearing kick away, and that was a shank combined with being held up in the wind.
Yeah, not his best for sure from Gilly, but that's what Union North needed, to get a bit of a respite. They got quick of the line, but it's a great steal. Sam O'Leary up at the front, this Gungahlin forward pack having all their own way at line-out time.
Yeah, they're certainly on today, the Eagles pack. It's been an impressive start, and they've had good reward for it, leading 12-0 after 20 minutes. This is Helgeson. He's brought to ground heavily that time. Ben Alexander and Ben Love, I think it was.
Much better from Josh Gillard.
Yeah, good touch finder. About 15 out from halfway. So James Lynch will throw in
like to see Uni get their hands on the ball now, just start building some pressure. We haven't really got to see their attacking quality yet.
A short line out. Ben Love takes it well. This is Gilmore. Finds Phil Ferreira in centre field, who's met heavily there by Mark Bartholow and Nick Dobson. We've got a penalty advantage here now for the Owls. This is Max Bode running out there on the in the tram tracks. He's brought down just short of the 22 in the end. Alexander can't get past the 22. He does with a secondary shove. Crichton finds John Bosco Tongaloa, who's good for a metre or two after contact. Crichton finds Alexander, gets a nice little offload there to Gilmore. Gilmore finds Trent Storen, and he's brought to ground just inside the Gungahlin 22. It's slow ball, but they're doing it slowly and surely at the moment, the Owls. This is Ben Love. We've still got advantage being paid here. A chip kick from Crichton hasn't gone down well, and there's a bit of accidental contact. Josh Gillard just taken in the air, but we're going to come back for that earlier high tackle penalty advantage.
Much better from Uni. Now we can see that they've got that ball skills. Ben Alexander, a beautiful little offload. Love how Lachlan Crichton tests that first defender by picking and probing, and I love to see that from a scrum half, because it terrifies you as a front row forward, as a second row. You're terrified when those little halfbacks start picking and going and running at you. So that's much better from Uni, and I'm sure Sam will convert this and
even Crichton's little chip kick there. It certainly wasn't his best kick of the season, but it just put a little bit of doubt in the defence's mind.
Exactly, I like the invention, and he's having a go. As we see there now, Uni with the ball in hand are really, really good. So they've just got to start building pressure. We actually said it last week as well. When they build and they just keep their hands on the ball, they look so dangerous.
So Sam Irwin will line up a penalty shot. He's pretty much in front of the right-hand upright. He's taken it back about 20 metres. He's rocketed into the top 5 point scorers this John Dent Cup season. Sam Irwin, he's pushed that one across the face.
Oh my word.
Met with some healthy cheers at the southern end from the Gungahlin supporters.
That's a let off for the Eagles. Samuel wiped that off. He trusts his technique, and that's just a little slip there, I'd imagine. Maybe a little bit of nerves as well.
Yeah, it could be. Gillard gets us back underway. Keeps that kick under the wind. Gilmore has this, though, at a bit of pace. Bumps off Alex Small in first contact. He's held up in the tackle, but does get to ground. John Bosco Tongaloa, he's been held up by BJ Edwards and by Bertholow. Bertholow has this, but it's not legal, is the call. Not releasing.
Was too much to resist there for BJ Edwards and Mark Bertholow. Referee was staring directly at them, saying leave it, but they just couldn't do it.
If I reckon if Mark Bertholow didn't come away with the ball, he was probably on the verge of calling maul.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, that's but again.
So interesting that Sam Irwin didn't take the shot at goal.
Yeah,
there, Ryan. They've
very interesting.
The line, found touch just outside the Gungahlin 22.
I was just saying it probably favours Uni, but as we know from
this has been stolen by Sam O'Leary, but we've got short arm taken there by Ben Alexander, who finds Phil Ferreira, who lines up for another centre channel carry. He's lost the ball, though. Gungahlin have this through Mac Hansen. They're looking to attack out of their own 22. Hansen, the impressive young fullback, brought down just short of his 22. Ward has this. Back to Gillard for the clearing kick, and this is heading our way, Ryan.
Yep. Right option from Gillard, just trying to settle things down, put it a million miles in the stands and just get a breather for everyone.
I know we said this yesterday, but I can't help but think that we're a target again.
I would.
Why wouldn't you?
I've taken about one kick to touch in my rugby career, but 100% if I had a red target.
The opportunity to put a ball on a grandstand roof anyway, but let alone having a commentary team.
Line out troubles just mounting up for Uni now.
James Lynch's throw ruled not straight by Matt Hogan.
That one's not gone straight, but I do have a bit of sympathy for James Lynch. Not a lot of tall timber out there for... This is the problem with playing a guy like John Bosco Tangaloa in the lock. He's not exactly a line-out option.
And as much as we laud Phil Ferreira's versatility, being able to switch between centre and lock, that's right.
He's a centre. I mean,
right.
he's actually taken a few today, so credit to him. But it's not like BJ Edwards out there, a guy that can really run their line out, putting a lot of pressure on Paredes and young Ben Love to take a lot of the responsibility.
Yeah, it does. But it also means they've probably got to step up and actually call more for themselves.
Yeah, I think so. It does give them plenty of beef in that scrum, and maybe that was the thinking there.
It's a good initial shove from Uni North, but the Eagles have this in hand. Conley finds Gillard out the back, and Mac Hansen just got a little bit tangled up in his support line.
Yeah,
there in the end, penalty to the Eagles. Gilmore goes quickly for Uni North, and he finds a runner over there about 5 in from touch, looking for quick ball.
Advantage again.
And Love picks up and goes. We're coming back for that penalty.
Ruck penalties are manning up here for Gungahlin. They'll have to watch, and this one's getting...
Matt Hogan's going to have a word. Chat here. Just calling Ray Dobson out as captain. We'll just listen to Matt Hogan here. No, you would suggest the message is pretty obvious, though.
For sure.
Every time Uni North come down into the 22, you guys are giving penalties away, and that's got to stop.
Interesting to see on a number of occasions now, Uni electing to go quick, trying to up the tempo, perhaps, and we see them going for scrum, not trusting that line out. I don't know about this call, Brett, to be honest.
It's an interesting call, isn't it? Sure,
I think they've had parity at scrum time, but what does that message say to James Lynch now, saying, all right, we don't trust your line out? What does it say to whoever's running? I'm not sure who's running the line out there. It's probably Paredes.
Unless, of course, James Lynch has said, let's scrum.
Well, maybe. Giving up on a key set piece this early is a lot.
It's been a big part of their game this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Their line-out's been pretty successful for most of the season. So
it's a 12-0 here, but you'd have to say Uni using the win very well to get field position. Gungahlin can't get out of their own 22.
They've absolutely dominated field position, but they've got nothing to show for it at this stage. Uni North have got 11 minutes to do that before the break. They do, absolutely. They need to score. This is Doyle, wraps around with Conley, and Kamara has lost that one in contact. And look at the hollering from the Eagles on field and their supporters there on the southern end of Viking Park.
That'll delight the Eagles coaching staff. You can just sense the want from the Eagles defence there. They want to defend. It's not a chore. Everyone's getting around it. And Eli Sonotti coming off his left wing and just putting pressure on Panache Kamara there. If the ball had gone wide, who knows, but I love the decision from Ellie to read that and just come up and make an impact, and he's certainly done that, and Eagles will have yet another chance to clear their lines.
If I had the opportunity and had the technology, I'd love just to track Eli Sonotti's movements in a game.
Seriously.
And actually observe how much time he actually spends on his wing. My guess is that it wouldn't be much.
Expect, if this half's gone so quick, I can't believe it, but expect in the second period for him to get off that wing more, particularly when the Eagles have plenty of pill.
Ward goes open side to Hansen, and his kick is held up over there on the eastern side. Only finds 7 or 8 metres.
If I was the Eagles, I would just be keeping the ball in hand for a little bit longer so that they can get on the front foot, and then Gillard can, even if it's going to hold on the wind, it'll hold in the Uni half, not the Gungahlin Eagles half.
Uni North go over the back. Ben Alexander can't get it though. This is Rocky Alula here. Can he get an offload away to Jake Helgeson? He can't. He's still fighting in that initial contact. Ball's back here now for Ward. Gillard has this, finds Mitch Conley. This is Eli Sonotti. It's slow ball. It's bounced in front of him. Sonotti gets back to where that pass came from. About 15 short of halfway at the moment, the Eagles. This is a good carry up through the middle here. Ward finds Helgeson. They've lost a metre or two here though. Plenty of patience. Ball spilt out the back. Gillard is there to clean up. This Uni North line holding strong. We've got penalty advantage here to Gungahlin. Edwards goes wide. Finds Alex Small. James Lynch, Trent Storin it is, who's got him a little bit high. I think we've got penalty advantage for that now as well.
Free play, Wardy, free play.
So we hear the Eagles coaching staff yelling free play, and they're right. Can counter-attack from anywhere this side.
Hansen wasn't expecting that ball. We should still have penalty advantage being played here. This is Conley. He'll have a crack. Can't get through, but does get an offload away to Sonotti. They find Jamie Cotts over on the far side. He gets a kick ahead. Jordan Thompson's at the back.
He's yelled advantage over.
Advantage over is the call. So Gungahlin now looking to pin Uni North in their own half. Ball spills out the back here. And there's a little knock on. There's a Gungahlin hand in that.
Yeah, just a slight knock on, but that's a better exit for Gungahlin. Playing footy. The kicking really isn't working, and they've eked out might have got a counter attack opportunity there, but they forced a penalty. They've gone wide, and now they're in the Uni half. And sure, there's maybe a little bit more risk factor in there, but they should back themselves and just play footy. For Uni perspective, 7 to go here, maybe 8 or 9, to go here in the first half, and 12-0 with the wind.
Knowing they've got 40 minutes to play against the wind, they need to score in this. Just over 7 minutes of this first half.
Just wonder about that 3 points, whether it took the wind out of the sail slightly too.
Pun intended, no doubt.
Absolutely.
But it's a good point that you make. They've not taken another opportunity. This is Gilmore. Finds Trent Storen. He goes wide here to Sam Irwin. He turns Eli Sonotti inside and out. Gets Trent Storen ahead of him. He puts a kick ahead. Can Panache Kamara get there? He can't. Ball just... it didn't roll over end on end. It was rolling on its fat edge, if that makes sense, and it just didn't pull up as Panache Kamara wanted it to.
Lovely variation from Sam Irwin. Found himself in an acre of space. We haven't
seen a lot of him with ball in hand today, have we?
Just went inside, outside, and then waited for his support. Lovely little offload, and the option from Trent Storen was perfect. Ball just didn't sit up for Panache Kamara, but much better again from Uni North, sensing that Gungahlin are a little bit narrow in defence and starting to push that ball a little bit wide. I like the options a little bit better. Starting to grow into this game, are the Owls.
It's the second or third time they've found a little bit of space down this side, down the left-hand edge for the Eagles.
Well, from an Eagles perspective, they seem to be hanging back. Particularly, Ellie Sonotti is quite far back there, as is Jamie Cotts, as is Mac Hansen, as we've mentioned
playing
before.
A deep back three, aren't they?
Yeah, strong kicking game for Uni, so perhaps that's the reason from an Eagles perspective.
Ward feeds here. It's a big shove for Uni North. They've got it going forward. Ilalahia forced to pick up at the back. The Eagles fighting to get out of their own 22 here. This is BJ Edwards, who again bumps off a couple of defenders, fights in contact, does find that 5 or 6 metres that the Eagles had initially lost. This is Sonotti. He goes wide, finds Mac Hansen over there, who's brought down nicely by Trent Storen. He got up again, and he got up again illegally. Kamara goes quickly for Uni North, trying to catch some Gungahlin defenders offside. Crichton's there for the Owls, goes short side, finds Ben Love, who's repelled back nicely. Crichton finds James Lynch, was stationary. Comes open side this time, that's Tongaloa with Phil Ferreira in behind him. That ball has been passed into an Eagles player. We've got penalty advantage now for Uni North. Ball spills out the back. Sam O'Leary has it for the Eagles and will come back for that penalty.
He mightn't think yellow here just because that was pure accidental, but the penalty's the right option.
Well, but that might be a yellow card. That's a cynical play.
It'll either be last warning or he's gone. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, hand is in the pocket from Matt Hogan. And what's his decision here?
His hand was in his pocket for sure.
Looks like it's the final warning. Well, I'd suggest to you that Mitch Conley is pretty lucky to get away with
100%. Given the amount of penalties in the red zone from Gungahlin, and then that's just a little bit cheap from Mitchie.
It's and again, Uni North.
He said he stole that as well. Hogs now. There can't be any yellows for that kind of stuff from Uni as well. So interesting decision to not go into his pocket.
This is an interesting decision here from Uni North as well. They've again turned down the 3 points and they've gone to scrum.
I think it's the right option. Having turned down a really kickable one, you back yourself now because if they can score a try here, it's game on.
See, interestingly, I was of the thinking that if they take the 3 there, we've still got nearly
Still got four.
Just under 4 minutes to play. They still had plenty of time to get back down there and score another
I wonder
try.
if the fact that he's not gone to his pocket has made them think, all right, we haven't got that 14-man advantage.
Might be right. It's a good, solid scrum here from the Eagles to repel this Union North's attacking opportunities. The ball being lost here. It has. Well, this is a massive let-off here for Gungahlin.
It's huge now. That's has to be said. That's excellent from Ray Dobson there. It was all him on that loose head side, and he's forced the error. And
big moments.
It's 3 minutes now, and
big moments.
It's funny to say with another half to play, but it could define the game this next three.
Absolutely, it could.
Has to be said, since I think it was Ben Alexander who went quick off that free kick, the Union North's tempo has just gone through the roof. They have to continue it in the second half. It's the right option. This Gungahlin pack is big. If you can move them around, they're going to tire. It's just simple facts.
You mentioned earlier that there's plenty of guys in there that will happily just tackle all afternoon. So
absolutely,
the sooner Union North can find a bit of tempo and play at speed.
Well, if you're an Eagles player and you're there, you're thinking, okay, well, Sam Irwin's missed a kick and they're not going to the posts. If they go to the line out, we back ourselves. The one thing you don't want them to do is run at you. It's perfect from the Ales perspective, I think, to go quick and just put the pressure on.
Absolutely agree with you. And look, the Eagles won't mind more scrums in this.
No, absolutely
they're probably getting on top in that department as well.
You think 12-0, but the Eagles have had to work so hard.
So we've got just over 3 minutes of play here at Viking Park in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. Gungahlin 12, leading Union North 0. Winner through to the preliminary final next weekend against Tuggeranong. This is Mitch Conley, who's in a little bit of space. Can he get an offload away? He can. He finds Luke Duffy.
Just needs to hold on to
late inclusion for Matt Hawke today, who went down in the warm-up. This is Ilalahia, brought down just short of halfway. We've got penalty advantage now for Gungahlin, and that penalty is blown up.
Well, he was just in our words there not a minute ago for a bit of discipline, but Mitch Connolly has been absolutely superb at that 12 jersey. We've mentioned it before, Matt Hawke going down, and he stepped up so much for his side, and Josh Gillard got the chance to punt them down to the corner. Strong maul game for the Eagles. He's not got a whole lot of that one.
No, but he's kicking pretty well into the teeth of this breeze. He did well to keep the ball down under it. So he's found touch about 15 metres into the Uni North's half.
Just wonder if you're the Eagles here. Are you thinking killing off this game with a try, or are you just getting to half-time?
Yeah,
don't want to make too many.
It's a really good decision, isn't it?
Don't want to risk too much.
Lynch throws, finds Edwards at the back. Gillard has this. Finds Conley, who finds Sonotti, and he's lost it in contact. Opportunity here for Uni North, perhaps. Less than 2 minutes of this first half to play. This is Ferreira at the back. He finds Tongaloa, who's met heavily there in contact by Ilalahia and Edwards. Ferreira, he backs up for another run.
Oh, great offload.
Finds Trent Storr, and he finds James Lynch, who's met heavily. Jordan Thompson has this now for Uni North. He's still going, the fullback. Brought down 5 metres into the Gungahlin half now. Crichton finds Gilmore out the back. He goes wide, and that ball is picked up on the bounce by Luke Duffy. And this could be that killer blow before half-time, Ryan. Luke Duffy's in for the Eagles.
It's an absolute killer blow for Uni Norths. Oh, that wind, it's been in their favour all day, and it bites them just at the worst time. And
at the one time that Tom Gilmore wanted to go long.
Yeah.
And his pass is held up in the wind.
That's so tough for Gilly there. Oh. It's the right option. Eagles were just a little bit at 6s and 7s after Ben Love had made such a... That break and offload was superb from the young number 8, and I think it was James Lynch who was there supporting him, but... Well, it's in finals footy time, Brett. It's about luck sometimes, and that's a stroke of luck for the Eagles.
We were just talking just 3 minutes ago about the big moments, and Uni North electing not to take the 3 points, and for the Eagles that opportunity for the forced mistake, getting out of their own half, and they've turned that into 5 points, quite likely into 7. You would think, with Josh Gillard taking all the time that he can with this conversion from right in front. Flags are up, and that will be half-time. Gungahlin 19, lead Uni North nil here at half-time in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. It's been an incredible first half from the Eagles.
It has to be said, they've got through so much work, and Uni have put them under pressure in terms of field position, but they've been up to it, and particularly the line out with BJ Edwards and Sam O'Leary, that disrupted that point of attack. Then it was scrum time, and Ray Dobson, the Dobson brothers, Nick and Ray, doing so much work in there, and then they got a stroke of luck. Sam Irwin, such a reliable goal kicker, just didn't come off that time, and from there it's just not gone Uni's way. And then right at the death there, Luke Duffy, who of course arrived at Viking Park today.
Inclusion, he was thinking he was going to play off the bench today.
Exactly,
Luke Duffy. Matt Hawke, as we've mentioned a few times, looks like he's suffered a hamstring injury in the closing minutes of the warm up. So the Eagles captain, the co-captain, was a late scratching, but Luke Duffy, well, he's just in the right place at the right time, and
for sure,
you have to wonder what that's going to do. Not only for Uni North going into the second half, but the Eagles, they will come up they'll come out in the second half with the tails up now.
Well, it slightly changes the risk they've got to take.
Yeah.
With that wind, with guys like Mac Hansen and Josh Gillard able to kick really well, as does Mitch Ward from 9. 19-0, it's so different to 12.
Yeah.
You can pump the corners and just say beat us from 80 metres out. For the Owls, they've just got to keep ball in hand and keep that tempo up as they were. When they did that and held onto the ball, they were really, really good. It's tough from an Owls perspective, because without a line out in their mind, I don't think their line out's dead by any means. It's just about smarter calling. But if they think, okay, we can't go to a line out, we can't go to a scrum, it takes a few of their weapons away.
But they're going to need to start their set piece well in the second half, aren't they?
So they can't give up on it for sure.
No.
They can't give up on their line-out. They can't give up on their scrum.
Definitely not. So 19-0, Gungahlin lead Uni North at half-time. Tries to Jamie Cotts in the 7th minute, to Ray Dobson in the 20th, and then just before half-time, the 39th minute, it was Luke Duffy, the outside centre, running in. Josh Gillard has kicked 2 conversions from 3 attempts, and from Uni North, Sam Irwin missed a penalty goal in the 25th minute, and they've turned down several opportunities in the remaining 15 minutes or so of that first half, Uni North to get on the board. So 19-0, Gungahlin leading Uni North here at half-time. It's a huge game, a huge 40 minutes coming up ahead of us. What's going to be the messages from the coaches at half-time? What's Tony Doherty say to his Uni North side now to get them back up, get them back into this game, knowing not only have they got to find 19 points, but they're going to be going into the teeth of a fairly strong northerly wind here at Viking Park?
Well, I think maybe the prevailing wisdom would be that he needs to G up everyone and give a rah-rah speech, but I don't think it's about that. I think they've actually had a lot of intention out there, but it's about playing a little bit smarter and just playing to strengths, to trust themselves. Play with tempo, take the ball up, recycle, go again. You've got plenty of athletes out there. That's the benefit of having a Phil Ferrer in at lock. You've got guys who are really, really hungry to carry, and they've got 80 minutes of footy in them. And you say, okay, they've scored 3, why can't we score 4?
Yeah.
It's plenty possible. They'll make mistakes. We'll have a purple patch. Back yourself.
We haven't seen a lot of Dan Partey and Ben Lovey in carrying today. We haven't seen a lot of them. Max Bode's been okay, but we haven't seen a lot of him yet either. Certainly,
I haven't even mentioned Isla Elifa, and he is one of their best players.
That's very true.
Panache Kamara's had a few glimpses. I think there moments. Have to say, Trent Storen's been really, really good. Yeah. He's been one of the guys that's been given a lot of intent.
He's been the one to straighten their attack.
Yeah, exactly.
They have been going a little bit side to side. It's been Storen through that centre channel who has straightened the Uni North side, so he'll certainly be important in that in the second half. Conversely, for the Eagles, well, it's hard to pick out someone who we haven't seen a lot of in their team. And looking down the list, it's actually probably Sam O'Leary, the open sider, who I don't think I've called his name a lot, but it's not that he hasn't been doing anything.
No,
certainly.
And he had a few line-out steals as well. So that's just on Sam O'Leary. That's him. That's him in a nutshell. Yeah. But if you ask anyone in that dressing room, who's a guy that's always steps up, who's always working, he's a guy that gets a 3-2-1 every week. Yeah. So he's one of those guys that maybe doesn't get the headlines, but he is so important to this Eagles side. And, as a personality as well, he's a guy that, makes no bones about how he plays, and he gives an edge to this side too.
Yeah. We haven't we've seen a little bit from Mac Hansen, but he certainly hasn't had it all his way today like he did last week. He's been pretty well contained, I think.
Yeah, I think the second half will be where he comes into his own, when there starts to become a little bit more space out there. That's when Mac starts to shine. Josh Gillard probably hasn't, again, limited in what he can do with that wind. He's managed the game really well. Mitch Connolly, outstanding for me at 12, just straightening the point of contact, getting offloads. Rocky Lalahia, of course, and BJ Edwards. BJ Edwards has been just so good in close contact. He's the one that's driving that line out. And so the Dobson brothers at scrum time as well.
How both Tony Doherty and Dan Atkins use their bench in the second half, I think, will be really interesting. We're seeing the Gungahlin bench with plenty of guys who are going to be fresh, but Tom Ross and Oscar Cunningham, the young Colts props, they've played earlier today. So a big opportunity for them, though.
Expect to see Simon Anu or JP Finukitau off the bench, if not at halftime, after about 10 minutes after halftime. Rocky, that's the message to Rock. Go out and give us 40 minutes of havoc, and then there's plenty of guys off the bench. So whether it's Finukitau into the row with Helgeson maybe to the back row, or Simon Anu, who's been really good off the bench, he might just slip directly into. And
Ilalahia he was off by the 50-minute mark, I think, last week from
he was, so, absolutely.
That might be a little bit of a hint as to what Dan Atkins does with his bench today. I'll go through those early results again from today. In second grade, it was Royals 47 beat Uni North 5. In Colts, Gungahlin 39 have beaten Uni North 12. In Div 1 first grade, it was Royals 38 beating Goulburn 23. And in Div 1 second grade, Queanbeyan 62 have accounted for ADFA 14. So congratulations to our winners. We'll see them back in action here next weekend for the preliminary finals. And so we will see the winner of this game, the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final, in action next weekend as well. Gungahlin and Uni North back on the field. The Eagles up 19-0 here at the break.
No changes from either side as far as I can see, Brett.
No, looks like both teams are 1-15.
Expect a huge 10 minutes out of the Owls here.
Yeah, well, they have to start well, don't they?
Yeah, unexpected. They'll come out firing, and they've got nothing to lose now. That's just 40 minutes to save your season. You're probably not expected to win from this position, but 40 minutes of football, all to play for.
Hogan gets us underway, and Gilmore's kick is high, and it's just held up a little bit in the wind. Elos Zanotti has the ball just outside his 22. This is BJ Edwards, who has been prominent in the ball carrying department and at the set piece. Got the little offload away there to Alex Small. This is Helgeson, who's carried strongly all throughout this game so far. Nick Dobson. Ball comes back here for Gillard. And for the first time today, he can just give this a hoik and not really mind where it ends up. Thompson had a little bit of a juggle there at the back. Gets the ball away to Gilmore. He's not going to kick into this breeze, but he does find Sterling Doyle, who Jamie Cotts covers well into touch.
That's so good from Jamie Cotts. He just jogged. He let Doyle just creak towards that touchline, and then he put on the burners.
Let him think he had him,
He trapped him, he let him go to that touchline, and then he put on the burners. Really smart defending from the Eagles winger there, and interesting to see Gillard, so smart, putting the ball in the air, not wanting to kick it long and give the Owls a defensive position.
That's it. We'll be looking for something very similar here. Taken well by O'Leary. Here, Gillard has this, doesn't kick, finds Mitch Conley, who finds Rocky Ilalahia. Brought down just short of the 10-metre line. Berthelo picks up, and he makes 8 metres on the pick and drive. It's quick ball now. Gillard has this. Edwards gets a good little offload away to O'Leary, who finds Ray Dobson. Can he get a ball away to Jamie Cotts? He can't. Well done there from Max Bode to bring him to ground. Nick Dobson, he's brought down just short of the 10-metre line. Gillard going open side, finds Berthelo, who's well held there by Phil Ferreira. Ball spills out on the Uni North side, but we've got a penalty here for Gungahlin. Not releasing.
I wonder, will Gillard have a shot here? With the wind at his back, I wonder, will he have a shot?
I've just saw Mitch Ward pointed straight at the sideline.
Yeah, and perhaps
Gillard's
Eagles
looking there now. Yeah.
Yeah, Eagles flying high, maybe just wanting to not give Owls any chance here, trying to kill off the game, perhaps with a try, but
yeah,
a little bit unlucky for me there. The Owls defence, I thought that was just a clean strip, to be honest. It was a really, really nice chop tackle from Phil Ferreira, but the referee saying
second man
no release.
Wasn't he, Ferreira?
I thought it looked like a rip, but for me, he actually bobbled the ball in the tackle, so a little bit unlucky.
Might have been the difference. So we'll have attacking line out opportunity here. Alex Small.
Expect the Eagles to go to the maul here, I think.
Throw in about 18 out from the Uni North line. They've gone to a full 7-man line out, taken well by Helgeson. They don't go to the maul. They find Ilalahia. He finds Bertholo, who makes 5 or 6 metres up there. Well taken in the end by Gilmore, I think it was. They go short side here, the Eagles. And for pick and drive runners, they'll do it metre at a time here if they can, the Eagles, and if they have to. Ward finds Gillard in a bit of space there. Eli Sinotti, he's lost the ball forward. Mitch Crichton has got a kick away. It's come down inside the 22 again, but we're going to come back for the knock on.
Eagles again getting a bit getting a bit of white line fever there for sure. I mean, there was acres of space there. Had it gone out slightly earlier, Gillard noticed it, but by the time it came out, Owls were up to it, and Sam Irwin on that right wing, when Eli Zanotti's running full tilt at you, has to be said it's not easy, but he stood up really well there and he forced him into touch, actually forced a knock on in fact, and Owls will have a chance to get out of their territory under the cosh here, but has to be said, Brett, it's not going to be easy. We've seen it in the first half. It's not easy to get out of your own territory with this wind swirling, and I wonder what they'll do. They do have 2 guys that can kick the ball long, so it's probably an asset that the Eagles don't have.
But as we know, today you're going to have to keep it really low to try and get any sort of length in the face of this fairly strong northeasterly.
Just keep an eye on Jamie Cotts here. The Owls like to go to flash here to Thompson with that left boot. They like to play direct and then go to the left footer, especially with the wind, as you say, on that opposite side as we look at it.
Yeah, Thompson potentially can get a little bit of cover from the grandstand here
as well,
on the
for
open
sure,
side of the goalposts. So Gungahlin won't mind this position for the scrum if they can get a big defensive scrum up. They don't have to strike, so they can just get the push, and they've got the push going. Uni North have to get that ball out quickly. And this is Kamara, who's met in some heavy defence there by Conley and Gillard. Crichton, well, he's delayed his pass, but he finds Phil Ferreira, and he finds Jordan Thompson. Sterling Doyle's in a little bit of space, does get a kick ahead here now. Mac Hansen and Jamie Cotts have to get back to cover this. Eli Sinotti, well, he gets a good kick away. Won't find touch though. Gilmore has this covered. Oh, Tom Gilmore, he very nearly got himself tangled up and forced that one into touch. He doesn't kick. He's trying to meet up with Sam Irwin, who comes back on this grandstand side. He jinks for a pass. Sinotti has him covered. He's brought down just short of the 10-metre line. Crichton goes back to the open side, finds Ben Alexander. It was Dan Pardite, who's made another couple of metres after contact, the blindside flanker. Crichton finds Kamara again and again. He's found another metre or two after that initial contact. He's brought down on halfway now for Uni North. This is Pardite and Thompson, who's good for 10 metres. Making some good ground here, Uni North. They get an offload away. Still going here. This is Phil Ferreira with a bit of a kick ahead. Ben Lovett is, I beg your pardon, but Jamie Cotts is there for the mark. He goes quickly. Gets a good kick ahead. It goes over the head of Tom Gilmore, and Jamie Cotts is leading this kick chase. Gilmore is back there. Can't link with Sterling Doyle at the back. Kicks to the club side here of Viking Park. And we've got a penalty here where the ball's gone out. I think Matt Hogan has got some advice from his assistant referee on the far side over there.
Yeah, he's called it as...
Is that for the challenge on Gilmore after the kick?
I think so. I think that's the call.
Well, that's not a bad result for Uni North, considering.
No, absolutely. That's a freebie for them for sure. And just watching Eagles slow to react when in that kick chase. As we said before, that big pack had to work really hard in the first half.
That's smart from Uni North. It was Jordan Thompson with the touch finder there, the left footer going across the breeze. I reckon it's probably made them 20 metres more than had the right footer Gilmore have taken it. It's a messy line out. BJ Edwards has cleaned this up for the Eagles, but we've got penalty again here against Gungahlin. What do Uni North do here?
Just wait.
Tom Gilmore wants the ball. He's going to see where the mark is. Goes quickly here now, trying to catch some players offside. Tom Gilmore, he's on his own. He's going to be heavily isolated. They do get there in the end, Uni North. This is when he finds Ben Alexander, who doesn't quite bust through that tackle. He's about 8 short. Crichton comes wide to Storen. He finds Kamara. Can he link with Sterling Doyle? Can he get there himself? Panache Kamara, is he over the line here? He is over the line. But I think he's going to be held up. Yeah, held up is the call. Really good defence from the Eagles.
Good defence, but much better in attack from the Owls. Moving with intent. Starting to lift here.
And with patience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've found a bit of life here, having been right down on their line. We were talking about it before. They tried to go left, I think it was minutes ago now, but that's lifted them. They went left through, I think it was Storen and Sterling Doyle on this left side, and it's just lifted the whole side a bit.
Yeah, it's... well, I don't think we've had to commentate to the northern end of the ground today.
No.
It's this unusual angle that we suddenly find ourselves using. The first action of the day in the northwestern corner of Viking Park here. Now, there's an Eagles player down. Is that Alex Small in the background?
Just getting a little bit of treatment,
bit of attention.
A few soft penalties being given away by the Eagles. A bit of ill discipline, a little bit of laziness, it has to be said. They might need a change. I think there's some tired bodies out there.
Well, we talked about use of the bench during the break, and so with about 8.5 minutes played of this second half, now is about the time when we sort of thought that both Dan Atkins and Tony Doherty would go to their respective benches. Certainly we can see the Gungahlin bench players doing a bit of a warm-up behind the post there at the northern end. The Uni North's bench is unmoved down here in front of us. But this is a big opportunity now for Uni North. Attacking scrum, 5 out from the Gungahlin line. Need to be the first point scorers in this half, you would think. Crichton pulls this ball out, goes to Gilmore, finds Trent Storen, who finds Jordan Thompson in a little bit of space. He finds Sam Irwin over on the far side, but the Gungahlin scramble defence gets there quickly. Must release the tackler is the call there from Hogan. Ball spills out the back. Kamara has this for Uni North. They're having to reset here now, the Owls. This is Ferreira. He backs his way into the contact, and that probably cost him a metre or two in the end.
Brilliant from BJ Edwards.
Finds Ben Love. They're still about 10 metres out at the moment, Uni North. There's a Gungahlin hand in the ruck here at the moment. They can't get quick ball, the Owls. Ben Alexander has this, and he's met heavily there by Helgeson and Alex Small. They've lost another 5 metres here. This is James Lynch for Uni North. Oh, and that's heavy contact there from Ray Dobson over the top. We've got penalty advantage here, though, for Uni North. Ball spilled out the back. Gilmore goes quickly again. In a little bit of space again. He's beaten a couple of defenders, Gilmore. About 7 short. Alexander gets a nice little inside ball back for Ben Love. The young number 8 can't get there, though. Ben Alexander goes for a pick and drive, and he's still short. And it's been lost forward.
Oh, penalties coming for not being back 10. Right. Eagles aren't reacting quick enough when the Owls go quick, has to be said.
Gilmore goes quickly again. Max Bode, well, he was caught by Josh Gillard. Ball comes loose. Thompson has this for Uni North, but he's short again.
They'll score if they go right. They will score if they go.
He's battling to get this ball out. He does go long. Finds...
what a tackle!
It's been lost by Tom Gilmore. Gungahlin gets a kick away.
What a tackle from Eli Sonotti.
Oh, huge tackle.
That is absolutely game-changing. They were dead to rights. That was a try all day for the Owls, and Sonotti just got his timing absolutely perfect, and he's lodged the ball out.
Sam Irwin stepped off his right to come back infield, thinking he might have got past Sonotti, but he's just lined him up.
It might have actually been Sterling Doyle, I think, off his left wing. In fact, I see him coming across there.
Yeah, Doyle's back on his left wing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, right. Whatever it was,
he was well held. Whoever it was.
What a tackle, Brett!
Important tackle.
Well, that's it. In the context of this game, with 28 to play, if the Eagles can get up the other end of this field now, it'll be a huge battle one for them. They did everything right.
Yeah, they really
did everything right.
They really did. And they've still got nothing to show for it. 19-0, they're trailing Gungahlin in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final.
Have to say, Lockie Crichton's influence is really growing here, and he looks really good. He looks on form.
He's not getting quick ball, though. Not when he really wants it.
That's true.
Another big Gungahlin scrum, and they win penalty. They win the penalty, and they'll get the easy 22 exit.
Yeah, that's good refereeing. Al's got the secondary, but definitely popping up there.
Yeah, they're controlling that scrum set piece really well. Yeah. Nick and Ray Dobson at the moment. So Gillard will pump this kick downfield.
Has to be said, that trio of Alex Small with the Dobson brothers either side of them, they've played so much rugby together, and they've got a familiarity that most don't get to have, and they can just work together, and they know each other so well. It's an unspoken thing in front row about knowing who you're playing with, because everyone likes a little bit different, likes a different setup, and these guys know each other so well. To
the point there that when the three of them haven't played together, it's been a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's not been the same.
No, definitely not. It's a small.
All three of them love to scrum.
For this line out. Still about 8 metres inside his own half. Done well there at the top, did BJ Edwards. Ball goes out the back to Gillard. This is Mitch Conley. This is Sonotti on his inside shoulder. But Sonotti, well, like he always does, he's nearly peeled off 10 metres after that initial contact. Has he been held up? No, he's got to the ground. Mitch Ward goes to BJ Edwards back on his inside.
He could have announced that.
Picks up. Drives, makes another metre or two. Ward goes open side. Sonotti gets through that first tackle of Ben Alexander. They keep going to that open side. Gillard jinx, doesn't offload to Mac Hansen. Keep going to the open side. Conley goes inside to O'Leary. Building it up nicely here, the Eagles. Ward goes to Cotts there on the far side.
Good cover defence from Uni Norths.
I thought that ball might have been turned over. But I think BJ Edwards has it still, yeah. This is Hansen. One's Ray Dobson.
No release.
This is Nick Dobson picking up at the back. Ferreira's over that, but he's let it go. They go short side again. This is Alex Small.
If the Eagles are smart
patient
here.
build up. We must be upwards of 10 or so phases, and there's the penalty. Not releasing. Again, that's good reward for good patient build-up.
I was just about to say, Brett, if the Eagles are smart, they'll just do this for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's clear that they've got an advantage there.
They've just made 30 metres there
30
in
metres.
10 phases without too much work at all.
Exactly. 5 metres either side. If they're giving it to you, you just got to keep taking it, and eventually you will get a penalty, which they do.
Now, Gillard's going to kick for the line there. I thought... I wondered this time whether he might have had a look at the posts.
I think, again, for me, I would have... Considering you probably get the ball back anyway.
22-0 would mean they had to score four times.
Yeah, so, no, 100%.
I suspect there won't be a lack of alternative and options here for
Jamie Cotts can kick so well as well, as does Mac Hansen. Plenty of options out there.
All very true. They've got a deep back line set here, the Eagles.
Well
Edwards
taken.
again takes it well. They drop down into that line out drive. Uni North have repelled the first charge well. They've even got it going backwards a little bit, but Gungahlin reset. The Eagles, they've got this line out drive going forward now. I think it's Berthelo, is it?
It's Rocky Illalahia.
Backing up over the line, but he's been held up.
Well, great defensive stand there from Uni Norths. Rocky Illalahia, he just emerged from the maul and...
He emerged at the front of the maul,
He just came straight through the middle. We see Dave Verron coming onto the field, a really good young back row lock, and he's going to replace, we'll see now, probably John Bosco Tagaloa, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, he's played plenty of first grade this year, Dave Verron.
It is Tagaloa to come off.
Played lock very, very well.
He's he's everything you want in a 6 lock. He's got pace. He can play footy. He's hard as nails, and he's a guy that I think he was involved with the Brumby setup last year, and perhaps on the fringes of that level. But if he continues to grow, he's got so much talent.
Might be an opportunity for him in the NRC, which we'll
see
kick off in a month's time or so.
This is a big moment now. Eagles got the chance to go to their best weapon here at the scrum, and with Mitch Connolly and Luke Duffy looming, Jamie Cotts and Mac Hansen, the speedster on the right, it's everything they want. But it's a great initial shove from Els.
Gillard and Connolly are really flat there in that the first part of that back line. This Eagles scrum is going forward though now.
There it is.
Ilulahia has the ball at the back. Ball just sort of spills through onto the Uni North side. We're going to come back for the scrum, for the penalty, I beg your pardon.
I can't imagine they'll be looking at anything else but a scrum here. You see the patience there from the Eagles. The drive didn't come, but they just stuck to task and built pressure, and eventually it will come. If it's going to come, it will.
Got the second shove, and then they made a couple of metres.
And that's experienced campaigners like we just talked about. That front row played so much rugby. O'Leary, Berthelot, Edwards, they know not to rush things and to just let the pressure build.
Yep. Big attacking opportunity here for Gungahlin. Leading 19-0 in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final.
This
about 22 minutes to play.
Oh, they've gone early.
Yeah, they have gone early.
Oh, interesting decision.
He goes quickly, and that's a try to the Eagles. And could that be the match?
It might be. It
could that be the match?
Tough for me to say. As I say, taking my Eagles crest off it, it's tough to say. But a 24-0 with 20 to play
into this wind
with a dominant pack, it's the writing is certainly on the wall for the Owls, and they've got to turn things up now. Eagles full of confidence. I thought, let's put it this way, Brett. If any other player went quick off a free kick at the back of a dominant scrum, you'd be pretty disappointed. But when Rocky picks and goes, you let him, and he's quite simply impossible to stop.
He's burst into the John Dent Cup top 5 try scorers in the last month or so, and it's not hard to see why.
I mean, we joke that Rocky is 50 years old, but genuinely he's played in this competition for so long, and he's been a consistent performer. Every year it seems that maybe it's his last year and he's not going to be able to continue as he comes off the park here. Going to be replaced by Simon Anu at number 8. It's been another epic performance from Rocky Ilulahia, and he exits the field after
it's been a big
another
shift
try
from the veteran number 8. It's been an impressive shift though. Has it been a match-winning shift? We'll find that out in just under 21 minutes' time. Josh Gillard with this conversion. He's taken it back nearly 26, 27 metres, I'd suggest. 5 metres in from touch there on the eastern side of Viking Park. He's not hit that real well at all, and in fact it's going to be about 5 metres short. So score will remain at 24 points to 0 in front of the Gungahlin Eagles.
Interesting now. I mean, at 24, Uni won't be looking at winning the game. They'll just want to get a score on the board and build.
They've got to be the next to score.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
Just have to be the next team to score here now. Gilmore's restart again, being held up in the wind, and they've got it back there through Isaleli Farr, who is in a little bit of space here now. The Uni North hooker, they're straight back on attack here. The Owls
has to go wide.
Crichton comes to Thompson, finds Gilmore out the back. This is Max Bode now, who's good for 5 or 6 metres, and they're inside the Gungahlin 22. Alexander picks up and makes another metre or 2. Crichton goes open side to Ben Love this time, who offloads there to the replacement player. That was Dave Verron. Storen goes wide. There's Isaleli Farr again with a good offload to Panache Kamara. He's brought down about a metre short. Crichton's eyeing off the short side, comes back to Phil Ferreira, who backs into the defence there on the try line here. This is Ben Love, and has he got over Ben Love? He has.
And there's that score.
There's that try they needed.
That all-important score, and it's a little bit of a gift from the Eagles. Didn't deal with the restart correctly, and then Owls pounced, and they were really, really good. They just went through the phases like we've said all day. They just went direct, and when they pushed it wide, they're accurate.
Really important try to Ben Love. Sam Irwin quickly converts.
Now, Brett, the misconversions come to play, because at 17, 3 tries win it, and 18 minutes, absolutely, it's game on here.
Yeah. I go back to that point about maybe taking the conversion
absolutely.
there, 6 or 7 minutes, the penalty there, 6 or 7 minutes ago. That might have been handy now as well. 24 points to 7, Gungahlin leading Uni Norths in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. We thank our competition partners for 2018, Griffin Legal, the John I. Dent Cup, name your right sponsors, Hahn Superdry, our match of the round sponsors each week, Vodafone, our man of the match sponsors, and we'll get onto that very, very soon. And we thank as well McDonald's ACT, Heart Sport, O'Neill's, and OVO, as Josh Gillard gets us back underway. And Jordan Thompson takes this on or about his 22, makes another 5 or 6 metres up from there. Uni Norths, well, they've got to find another score here somehow to stay in this game. This is Phil Ferreira, who's put in another pretty impressive display at lock for a man who's played a lot of centre this year. Gilmore looking for runners out the back. He finds Thompson. He goes over to the far side, and that's Dan Partate, who beats the initial contact and makes another 7 or 8 metres afterwards. Picks up, wasn't held, and it's play on for Dan Partate. He's made another 15 metres now. He's inside the Gungahlin half. Crichton has this now. This is Tom Gilmore. Gillard shoots out of the Gungahlin line. Gilmore changes direction, goes back to where that ruck was. That's a high tackle. And we have penalty advantage here now for Uni North. They get a bit of a free shot at this now through Dave Veron. The Uni North lock. Crichton with a little box kick over the top for Jordan Thompson. There's no one at home for Uni North. Simon Enel gets back there, and we come back to that high tackle penalty.
So smart from Lockie Crichton to go quick there. Knowing the penalty's coming, just put a little speculative one in behind, and it just didn't fall for Thompson. But
if Jordan Thompson had a yard more pace, he was in, wasn't he?
You see, this is absolutely game on now.
Yeah, if they can find another try here, Uni North. So Thompson with his left foot finds touch inside the 22 here now. Attacking line out opportunity.
So interesting.
For Uni North.
Just the ebb and flow of psychic energy. Just how things change on a dime. A miss restart, and Uni are back in the game. Dead to rights 5 minutes ago. Now it's game on.
17 points the margin, yet feels like we've got anything to play for in this game. Ben Alexander gets this ball to the back of the line out. Set play. Crichton picks up. Oh no, that's Veron it is who picks up at the back and finds another metre or two. Crichton, the scrum half, picks up this time, gets a little offload away there to Max Bode, but Simon now has this for Gungahlin. Bode, I think, was a little bit high in contact there and was just an easy target for the Eagles. Ball goes at the back here for Gillard, gets a hurried kick away and does really well to find touch.
Gee, has he done well
and
there.
Look at this ball run. This ball has run another 50 metres, and Tom Gilmore has slipped over against the fence over there.
That wouldn't have felt great now at all. Wow.
He's gone down into the...
he's taken a
just guttering over there.
Jake Helgeson's gone down, I think, with a... Well, we won't speculate on what it was, but he looked to be walking pretty gingerly. So we see Uni North's gone quick.
This is Ferreira, gets a little offload back to Veron on his right. This is Sam Irwin in at first receiver. He finds Jordan Thompson in a little bit of space here now. Brought down inside the 10 metre line here for Uni North. Still 40 out. Must be the next team to score. This is Lynch. Ben Alexander in behind him. Ball's ripped out by the Eagles and then lost forward.
Brilliant from Nick Dobson. Just targeted that ball, ripped it out. That's a big moment for his side.
Yeah, just a little opportunity. It'll just suck up a little bit more time into the last 15 minutes here of the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final.
Well, this is the thing now with the lead that the Eagles have. Every one of these moments becomes so important.
Yeah.
A missed opportunity for the Owls is death. They can't afford a knock on here and there, as you might if you're only chasing 2 scores. They need 3. So now 2 minutes go by here for this scrum, with Eagles being dominant as we see Helgeson come off. But these are so important moments with just 15 to play.
So it was number 18.
It's Kebs Fapuola coming on to the back row. I think it'll be BJ Edwards that'll come into the lock position. As Helgeson, another superb performance from him. He's been one of Eagles' most consistent performers this year.
Yeah, BJ Edwards is packing into the second row.
Just Keb's
alongside Bartholow.
Just a word on Keb's Fapuolo. He's just come into he didn't play a lot of footy this year, but he's a guy that everyone trusts at the club, and he'll give absolutely everything for this last 15, and a really, really dynamic footballer, plenty of aggression.
It was an impressive game from Helgeson, certainly. Crichton gets messy ball out to Jordan Thompson, who manages to get a metre or so past the line of where that scrum was. Crichton again, he's had to battle hard for ball at the back of the ruck today for Uni North. Again, fighting hard to get this ball out. Crichton finds Max Bode. Again, the Gungahlin Eagles trying to rip the ball out of his grasp. Bode had a little bit of a second effort there and made maybe another metre or so. This is Ferreira. Gets a little pass away to Thompson, who finds Ben Love back on his inside. Again, here's that gradual build-up here for Uni North. This is Alexander with Partey in behind him. Crichton goes open side to Gilmore. This is far. They're about 30 out here. Crichton comes back to this open side. This is Sterling Doyle, the left winger in centre field. Crichton spins back, finds Kamara on this western side of Viking Park, and he's inside the 22 now. Crichton comes short side, finds Ben Love in a little bit of space, but the ball's been stripped out again. Well, that must be half a dozen.
Yeah,
we've seen now this today.
I know, and it's the right thing from Uni there. Patient build up again, and Lockie Crichton finds a really nice pass to Ben Love, but the youngster just can't hang on. Jamie Cotts strips the ball, as we see a couple of Eagles players just perhaps sensing, well, tiring, I imagine.
Yeah, tiring, and with good reason too. I would think. Ray Dobson just
not heaps of options for the Eagles.
No, they've got Tom Ross and Oscar Cunningham on the bench. A couple of young props. Tom Ross we've spoken a lot about this year.
Yeah, I'd imagine it will be Oscar if Ray can't continue. As you see, he looks like he's going to go okay.
Certainly no movement down on the Eagles bench to suggest that we're going to have a replacement.
No, experienced campaigner there. Ray Dobson taking as much time as he can there. Another huge moment if they can exit here.
Yeah,
just another step to victory for the Eagles.
And it's time. It's time that's been taken up now.
As we said before, Brett, that's the most important thing, is that these moments, they take 2 minutes of time, and that's time which the Owls just don't have.
Yep, that's exactly right. So defensive scrum for Gungahlin.
It's interesting to see Eli Sinotti is camped on his left wing here.
Yeah.
Josh Gillard will not be afraid to put a cross kick in here.
Gillard, he doesn't go the cross kick, but Mac Hansen is now in a bit of space here. He puts a kick ahead. Mac Hansen, can he win the race to the ball? Sterling Doyle is there for Uni North, but he is all of a sudden in a world of trouble. He's been held up by Sinotti and Hansen. We've got penalty advantage though now for Uni North. Kamara goes quickly, but Matt Hogan says, no, I need to have a discussion with my assistant here.
And that will frustrate Gungahlin because they break so well, and then have to say Mac Hansen probably should have looked for his winger with a pass, but
I wonder if Mac Hansen didn't quite realise that Eli was out there. He was hiding in the car park here.
Yeah. Still, he was
very wide.
Yeah, he's still got to have a look there. He knows his left winger should be there. As we see, Ray Dobson going to have a chat too. Perhaps something happened down there.
There's certainly been a report from the assistant referee there on the far side. Eli Sinotti's been called out here, so something evidently has happened in that tackle, and Eli Sinotti's been given a yellow card.
Yeah, we didn't actually quite catch what it was there, but
we don't have the referee's audio, unfortunately, today. So
it was interesting that it was blown up as a penalty because there didn't appear to be much, but perhaps Ellie just infringing in the contact there, maybe high. There's been a lot of high tackles from the Eagles today, so perhaps one too many for Hogues, and so Ellie will take 10 minutes.
Yeah, Union North will have a man advantage for all but the last 90 seconds of this game then.
We have seen in this competition, Brett, that there's no lead that's safe. There's no situation that can't be overcome, so Owls have a chance here, has to be said.
And again, we've said it a few times this half, but they just have to find a way of scoring here. So Lynch, they go short. Quick
Smart.
off the back here. Pass bounces in front of Gilmore, but he finds Ferreira, who again shoves off his first tackler. Ball's there at the back for Crichton. He finds Sam Irwin in at first receiver. This is Partite. Union North supporters on the far side calling for another high tackle there.
No,
Irwin in at first receiver finds Ben Alexander. Dave Verron, he's met heavily there in centre field. Ben Alexander picks up and goes through the middle. Gets an offload to Wessalali Far. It's not quick ball though for Uni North.
Numbers.
Gilmore has this. They do have numbers. They're through Ben Love. Can he get a pass away? He can, Ben Love. They're still going there. They're only a metre or two short all of a sudden, Uni Norths. Have to find a way through here now. Gilmore has this. Comes out to Sam Irwin. He throws a long pass to Kamara. Can he get a pass away to Thompson? He finds Sterling Doyle, the winger on this northeastern side. He's been held up here.
Has to be let go.
Got a knee to the ground though, Sterling Doyle. He's done really well.
Work now, when you go.
Ball not coming out. We've got advantage here now for Uni North. Sam Irwin picks up from the back and scores.
Inspirational stuff from Sam Irwin there, coming off his right wing and getting the job done. He'll be the one to kick the conversion. It's an important one now. Game on. Eagles effectively down to 13 during that little stint with Ray Dobson out.
Sam Irwin with a very, very important try. But now he needs to kick this conversion, but he can't take too long doing it.
Whenever this game appears to be done, Owls just keep coming back. Superb.
24-12.
See Barmy Williamson coming onto the field from Max Bode.
Yeah, Barmy Williamson in number 16.
I presume he might go into
hooker, and I think Isalali Far will shift to
loose head.
To loose head. Ben Alexander switching to tight head.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. So Irwin's conversion.
This is so important now.
It's 2 metres in from touch. It's just outside the Gungahlin 22. Just over 8.5 minutes to play in the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. Irwin hits this well, but the wind has pushed it across the face of goal. Score remains 24 points to 12 in favour of Gungahlin.
Well, it just means that perhaps that the Eagles get a bit of a stay there now with 12-point advantage rather than a 10-point one. 2 tries and they'll need both conversions to beat them. And so, yeah, a bit of a let-off, but
Matt Hogan's just told Josh Gillard that...
Yeah, he's right on it.
Yeah, come on. Let's get on with this. So Gillard with the restart.
Eagles down to 14 for probably the remainder of this game.
He's gone down into the 22. This is Ben Love, who's been impressive today for Uni North.
Second half particularly, Brad, he's been outstanding.
Gilmore looking to spark something. Can he get a little offload away? He's busts through the tackle, does Gilmore. BJ Edwards tries to rip that ball out. They've had plenty of success at that today, Gungahlin. This is the replacement player. Now, Barmy Williamson there. Crichton, he's well held there by Sam O'Leary, forced back a couple of metres even. Gungahlin making metres through their defence currently. Gilmore finds Verron. Again, well held before the advantage line. This is Ferreira. Busts through that tackle of Bartholow. Crichton finds Alexander, who backs into the contact. It's quick ball out there for Crichton. Gilmore finds Williamson, who finds Ben Love. There's that man again. Can't get an offload away. Ball has spilt loose.
Oh, they've gotten away with one, have the Eagles.
A little knock on.
My word, have they gotten away with one there. Oh, the touchy's just having a word. I reckon, yeah, he's got it. He's pegged it. Matt Hansen was 100% over that ball and got a slight knock on.
Yeah, well, certainly
Great spot
there's
from
been
the touchy.
Communication between James Morris here on the near touchline and Matt Hogan out in the middle.
We'll
But
see.
it's a Uni North knock on there.
Tom Ross coming onto the field.
Yeah,
Junior
Tom
Wallaby,
Ross
tight head.
in 16 on for Ray Dobson, who has been...
It's Nick, I think.
Yeah, it is too. Nick Dobson coming off.
Can't believe
So-
Ray Dobson's still out there. He's
Ray
really
will-
struggling.
Ray will switch to tight head.
No, I'd imagine Ray will stay in that loose. Rossi certainly more comfortable at tight head.
We're going to need a ball before this scrum goes down. I know Lachlan Crichton has it.
Tucked under the wing there, yeah. Now, Eagles a man short.
Did he not signal that it was a Uni North knock on?
He had done, and then between Hogan and Morris here, they noticed that it was
Right.
actually Mac Hansen who got the hands to the ball first there, so...
Crichton again fights for the ball here. It's Thompson in at first receiver. Trent Storen
Did he get a
gets
touch
little
on it? He
pass
did.
away. He did, yeah. He definitely got a touch on it, Luke Duffy. It was just a matter of whether he was in a position to catch.
He's lucky to be still on the park if that's the case, I
Well,
think.
the ruling seems to be that if you're in a position, if you're not in a position to regather, then it's definitely a penalty. But whether there was going to be a line break seems to be the
Right.
difference between whether it's a yellow
Well,
card or not. And I think that's a fair call. I don't think there was a line break.
Yeah, fair.
Evident there.
Just start screaming it.
Regardless, it's attacking line out here for Uni North. James Lynch to throw in 5 metres out from the Gungahlin line. Ben Alexander, they've taken it a few times like that this week. And Ben Alexander gets the important try for Uni North. The third or fourth time he's taken line out ball off the back like that.
Well, 4
And it's
times the
worked.
charm. What an incredible try and great invention from Uni, backing themselves, and BA collects and scores, and wow, 5 minutes to play. Who would have thought? I mean, we said it, Brett, but did we believe it? I don't know.
I don't know what to believe
I don't know what to believe anymore. I mean, they looked absolutely dead to rights, and with 5 to play here now,
well, I know
Owls have their tails up.
I know we said the last conversion was important for Sam Irwin.
Oh,
but
this one now is crucial.
Really, really important. So he's taken it back about 21 metres. He's 14 metres in from touch, Sam Irwin. Uni North trailing Gungahlin 24 points to 17 with this kick to come. Hits this one better, being held up in the wind, and again it's across the face.
Oh, he'll be so disappointed again.
Hasn't been a great day for the kickers today, it's got to be said.
We mentioned it.
Remains 24-17.
We just mentioned it about 20 minutes ago that Eagles looked tired, and I just thought that the Owls had a chance because they had plenty of running left in them. And now with 5, the Eagles have to find something.
Well, what we have found now is that the supporters of both teams are really into this game.
Absolutely. I mean,
trying to will their teams home over these last 3.5 minutes. Gillard goes long, finds Ben Love on the 22. He's brought down by Ray Dobson, who again went in for a strip attempt, and they've got it here, the Eagles.
He's got
important turnover for Gungahlin. Now they'll look to set up the pick and drive. Edwards has this.
Clutch from Ray Dobson. Absolutely clutch.
They'll do it now 1 metre at a time.
You'd have to think so, Brett. They've just got to keep their hands on the ball.
Tom Ross has this, and he finds a metre or two in pretty close contact with the ground. There's no width to the Gungahlin play now. There must be 7 or 8 players within 5 square metres there now. They're just going to do this pick and drive at a time. Ray Dobson has this ball at the back with 4 players behind him. Alex Small is there as well to give him an extra shove.
Would Gillard think drop goal?
He's not quite in the pocket, as you'd say.
No.
Mitch Conley rips in there, and he's brought down now pretty well on the 22. Certainly taking their time about this. Edwards with another carry. Pushes off James Lynch. Dobson with another carry, and it's Conley again.
Just need to be a little bit more patient here. The Eagles going too fast.
4 or 5 phases in close proximity, but they're getting closer. 1 carry at a time. Small will pick up and have a crack.
Al's defence is so physical.
It's really impressive, and it'll need to be. They need to find a way of getting this ball back somehow, Uni North. The Eagles, well, they're still about 18 metres out here at the moment. Alexander has got his hands on the ball, and Ben Alexander wins the turnover.
Oh, I didn't see much release there, but I have to say, what a...
Gilmore goes quickly through Alexander, and they go wide straight away, and Sam Irwin's lost it. Ball from Jordan Thompson was just in front of Sam Irwin. And we've got time off here now. And is that Uni North's last opportunity?
And it's so ironic that it was down the wing that Ellie Sonotti now rejoins on.
Yeah, that's right.
He's back from his bin, and heart in the mouth stuff for Eagles. They'll be thinking, what have we done here? How have we got ourselves into this position, given that we were 3 tries ahead?
Led that's 24-0 into the last after an hour of play.
It's the nature of finals footy, I think, Brett. That just these things happen, and I have to say that last 10-minute spurt, that 12 phase spurt from the Eagles was so impressive. But then Ben Alexander just getting that scoop in, great turnover.
His timing was perfect.
It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Let's say I didn't see a release, but I think it was just too quick.
I have to admit, I wasn't entirely sure that he had full rights to be in that position, Ben Alexander, but you do what you can get away with.
I can't say that with a minute to go, and Al's still able to win this game. I think I'll relieve myself from that.
Ward has this. Mitch Conley, he just trucks it up in midfield, brought down just inside the Uni North 22. We're into the last 30 seconds here of the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. Uni North's appealing for a penalty here. Gungahlin, they're back on the pick and drive. Ball spills out the back. Derek Ferrin has jumped on it, and there's a penalty. There's a penalty to Gungahlin. I can see 2 or 3 hands straight away pointing to the posts.
I think the entire hill here on the Gungahlin side was pointing to the posts. It absolutely was, and unfortunately
Ray Dobson points straight to the post. Josh Gillard will step up with this penalty kick.
I have to say,
full-time siren sounds.
They'll take every second of that minute just in case it's not full-time.
And then he'll make sure he kicks it dead.
I think so. He'll put it onto the motorway, I think.
He'll put this onto Erindale Drive. Josh Gillard. And we need to start thinking about a Vodafone Man of the Match, of which I suggest it's going to be a hard task trying to sift through some very worthy nominations from the Gungahlin Eagles today. Gillard with a penalty attempt to seal it for the Eagles. He's about 20 metres back, 5 or 6 metres to the left of the uprights. Gillard hits this. Reaction of the Eagles supporters at the southern end tells you the story. Penalty goal from Gillard gets through, and the Eagles have won the minor semi-final here at Viking Park. 27-17, Gungahlin have beaten Uni Norths, and they're through to the Hahn Superdry preliminary final next weekend, where they'll take on the Tuggeranong Vikings. 27 points to 17. They've got through, Ryan. And what a game.
Oh, just that last 20 minutes. Eagles will be feeling that they've really made hard work of an easier win there, but credit to the Owls. I had a feeling that they just had so much more left in them, and they did, and they just never gave up, as they haven't all season long. But on a number of occasions, the Eagles' goal line defence was just absolutely outstanding. And if anything, that just let the seconds, the minutes tick off the clock, and they got there in the end. But great showing by Owls. They'll be back next year with a young squad and plenty of improving. But Eagles march on, take on the Vikings next week.
Yeah. Where there's life, there's hope for Gungahlin. Certainly, 27 points to 17. They've won the Hahn Superdry minor semi-final. Led 19-0 at half-time. They put that out to 24-0 on 58 minutes with that try from the quick tap from the back of the scrum to Rocky Ilalahia. And then it was Ben Love who scored for Uni North their first points of the day in the 61st minute. It was a yellow card to Eli Sonotti for the Eagles in the 68th minute, and then that led to a 10-minute charge from Uni North. Tries to Sam Irwin and to Ben Alexander in that 10-minute stage, and then that last penalty from Josh Gillard makes it 27 points to 17 in the end. I need from you, Ryan Murphy, a Vodafone man of the match, and that's going to take some picking today, because Ray Dobson was wonderful, Nick Dobson was wonderful, Jake Helgeson had an outstanding hour before he went off. Mark Berthelo, BJ Edwards got through a mountain of work. Ilalahia, we sung his praises all day. Gillard had a wonderful game controlling things. Even Mitch Conley I thought was really, really good. But who are you going to go for today?
Just a special mention to Mitch Conley. I thought, particularly in that first half, he led the Eagles really well after Matt Hawke went down and really stepped up as a leader. But for me, in a word, it's BJ Edwards. I thought he was the most outstanding player on the park. He never stopped. His aggression was absolutely magnificent. He ran that line out so well on both ends. His defensive work in the line out was just imperious.
A couple of crucial steals too,
and involved in everything in attack. Didn't get on the score sheet, but involved in absolutely everything good for the Eagles, and he's the man of the match for me.
Yep. So BJ Edwards is our Vodafone man of the match. It's been a wonderful win here by the Gungahlin Eagles there, down there at the southern end here of Viking Park, celebrating what's been a wonderful win with their supporters. They're through to the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup preliminary final against Tuggeranong next weekend. Uni North, well, they've been wonderful in 2018. It's been something of a fairy tale for them to get through to the final series, but it wasn't to be today, and they will be, as you say, Ryan, back bigger than ever in 2019, no doubt. We'll be back here at Viking Park next Saturday, where Gungahlin will face Tuggeranong in the Hahn Superdry Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup preliminary final. But that's a wrap for us here at Erindale. Thanks for your company on Bar TV Sports. For Ryan Murphy and the team, I'm Brett McKay. Enjoy your rugby.